Oh my God! Woo!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Dukect, back with you once again. Hopefully, you're having a good week. I'm feeling a little better. Um, just trying to get some workouts and such. I'm trying to do that again. For me, just to really just start to just get more healthier. Started, doing more, running and everything else. That's the hope, starting, really get that, not feeling my leg is all a little bit of messed up. So, but hopefully I can do a little bit more walking. You know, no worries. Just, just a little bit of things, a little banged up, but don't worry. Everything's fine. No worries here. Everything's all good, it's all good. Everything will start working next week or so. Anyway, how are you doing? Hope everything's doing well. It has been one hell of a news week. And remember when Roman Reigns was going to be the big talking point, but oh no, it's this man. This man right here, Kota Ibushi, and it has been just a just a whirlwind of insanity. And honestly, there's been a lot of stuff here talking about like because all that stuff, and I'm like, you know, until there's like really stuff, we gotta look at the concrete stuff here. Hmm. All right. Concrete. You know. Uh, concrete stuff here. And right here, this is again some sexually harassing bosses. As it's a situation between Kota Ibushi and New Japan Pro Wrestling appears to be boiling over, and I think there's more stuff here. Let me just see if I can find it. Um, let's see. I know this is a bit on the crazy side, going using DuckDuckGo, but I'm just gonna see if I can find it on Google and everything. You know, they seem to have like more stuff here. Um, yeah, but here it is. It takes all the stuff here. Just one of the big things happened this past couple of days. On this on Tuesday. It says things began when former IWGP Heavyweight Champion tweeted early Tuesday, late afternoon, early Tuesday morning, late afternoon Japan, vowing to expose what he described as cheetah's gun and sexually harassing bosses. The tweet was in Japanese, was translated by Twitter user Golden Kuma. Let's see. Let's see here. It says, I'll expose all about the former cheater's gun already returned and the sexual harassing bosses from the company's president's lies to his unreasonable power harassment at the time. UBC tweeted, get prepared for this to Tokyo Sports and TV Asahi 2. I don't care. 4 hours later, Akira Ibushi posted another tweet posting a screenshot, a line chat Ibushi had with a New Japan higher up known as Keiushi. Pardon me, if I mispronounced the name. In the discussion, Keiushi just ending New Japan's contract with Ibushi, leading to this following exchange. If I'm told so from the New Japan Pro Wrestling side, I can't complain. I'll get things settled. It's fine if you just fire me. I don't want to do that. What happened to you? There's no reason whatsoever. I have no excuse either, and don't know why, but I can't align with the company's rules. If the atmosphere is too weird, then it can be quick, so you can cut me with no remorse. Responding to a fan a short time later, asking about the situation, Kota Ibushi responded by saying, "What's black is black." In Japan, referring to a company as black suggests they are exploitive. As we've discussed, it turns out what's black is still black. I am not a robot. Kikuchi stinks since he wanted to return before Wrestle Kingdom if I was sealed up. I endured it though. But he note that Kirill Ibushi suffered a significant shoulder injury against Kazuke Okada in the G1 Climax final this past summer. As of today, Ibushi has still not wrestled since the G1 and was recently said to be at 80% of his recovery. After that exchange, Ibushi continued in a response to another fan. You know what's going on behind the scenes if you've been in the business for no less than 18 years. I don't think it's a negative thing. I take it rather positively. I am very calm. Thanks for your concern. Um, Finally, Kota Ibushi would post one more tweet, another chat line between him and Kikuchi, where the two argue over an unnamed appearance. Do you think it's wrong to make an appearance without permission? Kikuchi asked. Maybe we should talk to the office. You came at me to end the contract, so I thought that was it. I accept it. I don't think it changes if we talked. It looks like you can't have the conversation. It looks like you can't have that conversation. So you cause problems and make the other guy's fault. Let's see right here. Make sure everyone sees it. Um, fault in order to leave the company, because you stated. I mean, you do have extra reasons or issues other than that, don't you? Nothing at all. BBC responded, because if you think you're done nothing wrong, and suddenly, uh, a line message about ending your contract comes, wouldn't you ask Did I do anything wrong? I didn't, Ibushi responded. I don't think it's a problem. It was a problem. Just so sorry about that. I'll talk to the higher ups. It should be noted that no date is given for the conversation between Ibushi and Kishi, so it's unclear when they exactly took place. Well, several Japanese wrestlers, including Shushi uh, Ishimura from All Japan Pro Wrestling, Yuko Sakuragi of DDT, and Great Okan of New Japan have committed or alluded to Kota Ibushi streets. It doesn't appear anyone from New Japan has commented on the situation. Another Twitter user at the Feely provided more potential information regarding the situation in a long Twitter thread Tuesday afternoon, hinting that the issues between New Japan and Ibushi have long been simmering. The Twitter user notes that Kota Ibushi was announced for the New Japan Cup in March this past February, only to be removed following after a conversation between Ibushi and New Japan. In subsequent tweets, Ibushi alluded to wanting to say something regarding to an unknown situation before deciding not to. The thread goes on to point out that Ibushi appeared at a JTO Just Tap Out event on March 5th. JTO is run by former WWE star and current New Japan talent Taka Michinoku. It's possible but unclear this is the event Kakushi was referring to Ibushi appearing in their line chat. It was also noted there was some speculation at the time New Japan was upset with Ibushi over the appearance, and Ibushi would note on Twitter on March 5th his disappointment towards how the certain promotion was run. At another instant response to tweets from both Okan and New Japan star Tahashi over the next several weeks, there was an April 2nd tweet from Ibushi who talks about feeling new excitement after attending a kickboxing event or saying how wrestling needs that. This would lead to an altercation between Ibushi and Taka, where Ibushi would allude to the cheating scandal involving Taka years ago. The thread notes Ibushi tweeted days later about cutting someone out of his life, and that he recorded his usual New Japan podcast on April 14th, which went normal. Kota Ibushi signed a 3-year deal with New Japan in 2019, indicating his contract is up sometime this year. He is well known for being the on-time tag partner and close friend of AEW star Kenny Omega. It's clear Ibushi will join AEW for Japan, or how this will impact the ongoing AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling working relationship. The two promotions are currently holding a super show called Forbidden Door, which is pretty much all sold out at this point. So yeah, this is running a huge story, and one questions that the whole situation here is, how this whole thing just began. It's like you have to look upon this, and my thoughts on all of this does come out of nowhere, and I wonder, will there be a repercussions and such? Well, and honestly, no one knows at this point. No one knows, and my hope is that the people who were, um, you know, the hope is that the people who are doing all this negative stuff, the sexual harassing bosses will be fired. The people who are just making New Japan doing all these abuses and everything else behind the scenes will be fired, get out, that sort of thing. And you hope for that, but I don't know. Um, yeah, I mean this stuff here it's just yeah. What's up? Hey, what's up, Zaref? Yeah, it's just I'm talking about wrestling and talking about Kota Ibushi, New Japan Pro Wrestler, who basically just fired a huge shot on Twitter, social media, and basically accused a lot of wrestlers, of New Japan Pro Wrestlers, about being, sexually abusing people, cheating, that sort of stuff. And now, I'm surprised wrestling business is one of the most seediest and dirty pieces of just places out there, you know, probably it is the worst. I don't know. Maybe Hollywood is. I mean, Hollywood is just more glitzier stuff. But yeah, it's just that like I said, I want people to um I really want you know the people who who won't get out of this, and I don't care. Oh, he's gonna go to this place. That's secondary. What Kota Ibushi is, what he's doing. I hope he's safe. I hope he is like physically, emotionally, all that stuff. Maybe he finds this, he's done with this stuff, and maybe he's like, I'm not gonna be done with wrestling for a while. I'm gonna be done with wrestling or whatever. I don't care what I don't want any of that WE and AW Impact, all that stuff, man. Look, I don't know because he doesn't want to leave Japan. So maybe he's like trying to go to DDT. Maybe he's trying to do all this stuff. I don't know. Maybe he does. I don't know, but maybe he'll probably go back to New Japan if like the people behind the scenes are cleared out. Maybe they start treating him with a little more, respect and everything. Because, right, you know, I mean, when you look at this story right here, you know, yeah, I know. No argument there. Let me just see if I can get the other story here. Da, 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 da. Oh man, gosh, I started with a really fun story, ladies and gentlemen, and it's fun. But yeah, he refused shoulder surgery following his injury, despite being advised to get it, and he's already had surgery on that area before, and that's what he this is what it is right as well, saying he is not going to return to the ring until he's healthy to do so. And I think that's the problem. They're trying to force him to come back. And I think that's one of the issues is that, man, I'm hurt and I don't want to come back yet. And, you know, right here, he wants to do a Phoenix Splash. Is saying there's a reason. He's saying that a slight difference can make its impact and his weight. There's too many fluctuations, all these type of things that take like, hey, I have to make sure I can do this move safely, not just for myself but the opponent as well. So I think he's just like, again, I think the issue, not only the sexually the people who are sexually abusing people behind the scenes, but also forcing them to you're going to be forced to do this type of stuff. And I'm like, I think that's one of the main issues. Could be wrong, but I think that's one of the problems right there. And I just think that until we hear anything else here, my hope is, you know, my hope, my hope is that um, the cooler heads prevail. They get rid of the horrible people behind the scenes. Kota Ibushi comes back 100% physically, spiritually, emotionally better, and whatever he lines up there lines up. That sort of thing. That's my hope. Maybe it won't happen, but that's my 2 cents on it. Boy, I picked a great first topic. Gosh, man, great first topic, but yeah, I know they don't get health care at all. They don't. Independent contractors, baby. And actually, that goes up to the next story, which I will be talking a bit after I do a little bit of a break. You listen to you know, listen to a little bit of a break. We're gonna talk about old Roman Reigns. Um, as he looks like he's gonna be oh, it looks like he might be leaving for a while, or you know, stuff like that. But we're gonna take a small break. Um, we'll be thanks for the likes and everything else. We'll be right back. No worries. And when we do, we're gonna talk a little bit about Roman Reigns, the big dog, leave it. We'll be right back here on the Dukect Lounge. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Here's me, Dukect, back with you once again. And, well, Roman Reigns. We're going to have a little more fun with this, by the way. We're going to have a little bit more fun. We're going to have a little bit more fun with this thing here. We'll just put this right here. Because this is it does connect a little bit to what I was saying earlier, but it's a little more of lighthearted stuff. I mean, who doesn't want a little bit of lightheartedness here? I mean, doesn't. But yeah, here we are. Let me just share the screen here. By the way, if you like the stuff, like and share and all that good stuff here, right here on the Duke CT Lounge. You know, like, share, all that good stuff. We'll just share some sharing. Boom. Roman Reigns, the head of the table, bloodline leader, the leader of the bloodline, all that stuff. Well, the past couple of weeks and everything else have been very interesting. He Roman Reigns, let's see, if I can find the tweets and everything else about this, because I need to get a little more what was context of Roman and everything else. You know, because again, there's some context we have to look into, because Roman Reigns, the Universal and WWE champion, have he is taking some time off, and I agree for him, because heck, I think most wrestlers need to have more time off to, and not only that, for their own bodies, for their own bodies, mental, physical, all that type of stuff. You know, the problem is because they get so um you know, like, oh my gosh, why are you still? The old saying, um, well, we can't miss you if you don't go away, and that's the real problem with that, is that he just won't go away. He's done everything, beat every single person, and well, when you beat everybody and you do all the stuff, and then you just have him destroy everyone in the past for the past couple years, and then you know and then after next year, supposedly, April, he's gone. Let me just see if I can find the stuff here, if that was the case, and let me see if I can find it. I'm close to here, because I think this was supposedly um right here. Oh, I got the little tweet here. Let me just share the stuff here. Could be right here. Oh man, let me just share this thing, because it's let me share this. Share. Boom. Here it is. His contract, supposedly, before all this stuff happened. Look at that contract. Roman Reigns next year. He was going to be leaving, and they built him up so big, and they're like, oh crap, this is all for them to face The Rock at WrestleMania. Oh man. And by the way, that's not even guaranteed, because majority of the studios The Rock is working with, WB, all that stuff, and sometimes Disney, they don't want that, because let's be honest, The Rock, the last time he got a full match, he got himself injured, and the studios hated that stuff. They did not like that stuff whatsoever. And they probably looked at Rock, man, you want to be the big star, you want to make that Dwayne, you want to make that big Hollywood money, bro, cut this wrestling stuff off, man. Cut it off. Better cut that stuff off. You better, because you don't. What do you think happens? What do you think happens? I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta make that choice. I mean, there for all the people watching, by the way, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. If you had Hollywood for all the stuff, like I said, when the big time calls, don't you call up? I'm like, yeah, I'm taking the yeah, I'm going to Hollywood. You go to the Hollywood and everything else. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, that's the heck, if I mean, yeah, Cena's already gone. Reigns is looking like he might go too. Plus, he was a cancer survivor as well. Maybe he's like, you know what, my health is not really, that sort of stuff too. You have to look at that. And he's probably like, let me just move on and not do this anymore. And WWE has built so much capital in him, which is pretty much stupid, because they knew about this. And that's what they had to just rush and say, oh, you had to have a new schedule for him. Again, right here. Just put this here. Here you go. Roman gets a brand new schedule similar to Brock Lesnar. Again, this is he's being this he's going to be missing shows, and supposedly He's not even going to be on. Will not be competing in the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So it's going to be Cody and Rollins again, and all this other stuff. So yeah, um, he'll be doing stuff the summer. He's going to be, some television stuff, and he might be at Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. But yeah, he'll do those TVs and stadium stuff, but he's not going to be doing a lot of dates. So yeah, he's going to be, well, supposedly to Dave Meltzer, he's not going to be like Brock Lesnar, but he's like going to ease up a bit. And quite honestly, WE, this is a monster of their own making because they still believe in house shows. They still believe in all that type of stuff, even though the house show market is basically done because they basically caramelized their roster. Their storylines are complete garbage, and there's no stars on their roster. None. They did it to themselves. They made them their stars and everything else irrelevant until they made them so bad. If you really want to get to this point, ladies and gentlemen, they have basically screwed up so badly is that all their main talent is irrelevant, and they have to bring in John Cena. They have to bring in Goldberg. They have to bring The Undertaker. They have to bring Brock Lesnar. They have to bring these old guys that were over. I mean, they have to bring out Batista. They have to, keep Randy Orton around. They have to keep everybody around. There's no new young stars. And this is what happens. The chickens have come home to roost with WWE. And honestly, there is nobody in that roster right now that is going to be a star because they have caramelized their roster for many, 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 many years. Many years. And now, here we are. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what happens when you don't have a bench. This is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you don't have this type of some people around you. If you don't, well, this is what it is, man. This is what happens. I'm watching actually both doing this and watching the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I'm looking to see what, the Tampa Lightning they got to where they were and won multiple championships because of their depth. They have, big stars and such, but the one thing they have, and they still do have, is their depth. They have people. They have multiple people that they can trust and depend on. That you're like, okay, we might have like we don't have like big the stars. We have our big stars, but at the end of the day, we got people behind them to do all that stuff. If one of them goes down, hey, another guy step up. Brandon Point, no one knew about him. He got opportunity, became a big star. When's the last time you had that in WWE? Someone came out of nowhere. Someone's gotten popular by themselves, gotten over. What do they do? And they say, okay, here's your big chance. I haven't saw that in a long while in WWE. And, so you're AEW. Oh, yes, look, I'm an AEW fan. I'm an Impact. I like, wrestling and stuff. And I give props to W when they do good and such. But when I look at the stars and look at their roster, I can't lie. This has been a problem since, how long this problem has been going around. And I look at the reason why it's been going around is because old Vince McMahon. Vince, you're the one who messed this thing up. You messed this up, and now, this is what again. And now you have this whole situation. I'm not going to sit back and say, oh, man, you did that. No, man. I'm like, no, man. This is you. This is all on you, man. Because again, you sat back, you did all this stuff, you cannibalized your own roster, you basically made them look irrelevant for the past, how many years? Made them look so, jobbing out to Lesnar. They didn't have championships for so long. Had to artificially raise up the Intercontinental title. You know, you know, they had to raise up all this other stuff. They had to do all these type of rejiggering and everything else just to for what? Meaningless stuff. They just can't really help themselves. But now again, and not only that, the buy rates and everything, and it goes back to how people present themselves, how they presented them, and everything else. And Roman, I mean, hey, I'm hopeful that he got his good deal, got his money, and he's doing less dates. Good. Maybe they should stop doing house shows at all. No more house shows because no one goes to them anyway. So why don't you just stop with the house shows? Stop building up Raw and SmackDown to something being more of a you know, of make the shows better, build them up, and do something actually like, yeah, this looks great. It makes Raw, SmackDown, and the multiple pay-per-views. I mean, sorry, premium live events worth watching. I mean, I just recently went to WrestleMania, and honestly, I would say it's WrestleMania. I will say this: it was fine. If WrestleMania was a one night card, it would have been fine if they cut some stuff off. If they would have cut some stuff off, hell, rejigged the main event, I think it would have been a very fine WrestleMania. But as a 2 night extravaganza, hey, it was bad. Straight up bad. And just, you know, honestly, I wish they could be more like, six. I wish they could just do just 6 or 7 matches or 6 or 5 matches, but also be good. Be good and, get people into it. That sort of stuff. But that's just me. But that's just my personal thing. Anyway, let's I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna go into speaking of just going from bad to worse and everything else. Let's talk about EA. Oh, we're gonna talk about EA next, baby. Um, you know, oh, I can't. Oh, yes. EA. Who doesn't love EA? Just, we're gonna be talking about that. So we're gonna be doing that right after this little musical little break. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks so much for being here. We'll be right back right after this here live on the Dukect Lounge. Let's put this right here. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Well, well, I could talk about some EA. Who doesn't love EA games, huh? I mean, well, it's so bad you could say, well, I could talk about the fact that the FIFA brand soccer just EA just lost the rights to the FIFA brand soccer game, which is, when FIFA, the soccer's governing body just says, you know what? Nah, we're good actually. It just goes back in the open market. That's not a good look. You know, it's a little bit, a little hilarious. But oh, but I'm going to talk a little about this subject here. Just, all right. Oh, pause here. I'm going to share, make sure everything is on point, like I always do. Always on point. All right. EA is supposed to. This is IGN, so right here, IGN says teases 4 games in 2013, including a new remake and a major IP. Woo! And they, at in the, and investors a sneak peek of what's got cooking. This is right here, Electronic Arts had the, earnings call. And, I think they said that during this earnings report, they planned a major IP for 2013 and an unannounced remake. On a slide of EA 04 quarter 4 2022 earnings percentage gives a look for the next 4 months of releases with F1 2022 and quarter 1 for men, quarter 2 is Need for Speed, and NHL quarter 3 and quarter 4, which covers January through March 2023. We get one name franchise, PGA Tour, but we also see 4 big, exciting, enticing unknowns: major IP, partner title remake, and sports title. So let's see. Let's see what's gonna be. Someone's saying it's gonna be the Dead Space remake, which okay, it's Dead Space, and at this point, I'm just numb at this. Like Dead Space is just, you know, Dead Space is, what it is. By the way, the Leafs just got scored up by the by the Lightning. By the way, if you want to know about sports stuff, but that Dead Space remake, I'm not really cared for. Um, they just, I mean, when Dead Space 3, I honestly got off the Dead Space back and when Dead Space 2 was on. I was like, it became so much of an action oriented game, and I just like, and the multiplayer stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm out. That to me, I saw when they added in the multiplayer from Dead Space 2. I knew something was going to be messed up, and like, oh my god, it's great, man. Why you do go? I'm like, nah, I knew something was going to happen, and now here we are. Dead Space is honestly one of the absolute. It destroyed itself in Dead Space 3, and it's just like you saw what was the building blocks of what it was. Dead Space for the first game was just atmospheric, linear, single player, just fighting this these type of things. And you know, that's, and I wish that game was there, but here they got bigger, better, and everything else. And I was like, yeah, this is not looking to be good. But now we're looking at the major IP, which some people say it's gonna be a Mass Effect game or a Dragon Age game, but you know, I um I don't know. Mass Effect to me, I want Mass Effect to do come back and be well because they did do a teaser saying, Mass Effect series 4, they might actually sit there and say, okay, which ending is canon? They might actually lean to say the destroyed or whatever. They might actually do that. They might actually just say, okay, it's the red option or whatever, or something like that. So who knows? Who knows at this point? So at the who knows at this point? But I would like to trust EA, but to me, EA is just full of bad management. Bad management with just terrible, there's no real strong structures where they just, the last big Mass Effect game, Andromeda, was they just didn't, there's too many political differences, too many, just like what type of game was going to be until they started actually doing the damn thing. You know, that was the problem with this series. That was the problem with these games. They sit, and not only that, the problem was Frostbite, which I think they finally realized is not really a third party or type of stuff. It's a first part. It's only good for racing, sports games, and sports games and such, and first person shooters, and trying to just morph this type of stuff with Frostbite. And then you see what's going on, what happened with Anthem, what happened in Mass Effect Andromeda, Dragon Age, that big next gen version of Dragon Age, and all the other stuff. It's just like they just have these bad management, bad type of, all these type of just bad choices, and honestly, and these franchises that they have no idea what to do with, and the old people, the people who are had something to do with those franchises, are gone, and probably for like good. I'm like, hey, they're gone. Like, oh, that's good. Somebody they want to move on and become something big, doing something else with their lives, which is good. I always say, hey, don't be stuck on just one thing. If you want to go on and live your life and do something different, hey, you know what? That's actually cool. That's actually really good. And that's always a good thing. Because if not, you're just gonna be sitting around doing, I mean, how long before burnout hits? And especially in the game industry, which, I mean, honestly, just the way the game industry is, it's just ugh, it's really, the way the game industry treats its workers and developers and such is pretty terrible. And I wish they can sit there and say, okay, let's actually build these things up. Let's actually do something to help the people and everything. But yet, no, they won't. It's frustrating. And I just look at these EA titles, and I want to be, one day I'm like, man, I really want them to come back. Oh man, I really want them to do well. But I don't. I don't see them doing well because it's just, you know, I just don't want them to see, I just don't see them because, again, the bad management, EA just can't really get over itself. EA is so bad at just not really taking care of its own, um, you know, its own franchises. They just like outsource it. They lost their Star Wars franchises so bad. They lost their Star Wars, which was so easy. All they had to do was just redo Battlefront 1 and then and 2. How did they screwed up so badly with the Star Wars franchise that the United States government had to get involved? How the how do you screw up that badly that you had the United States like representatives had to come doing like this stuff, looking at the um microtransactions and seeing how that stuff and how that dirt went down. You know how bad, how terrible is that type of government? How bad is that, man? How terrible is that? And I'm like, this bad management, and I don't know how you fix that management. Hmm. I don't know how you fix it, because if you can fix it, I'll be right there saying, hey, I will support the games. But right now, I don't know how you can fix the management of EA. I want to be happy, but until I see otherwise, EA, you're done. I'm done with you until further notice. It's pretty much the same thing I have with Bethesda, which, by the way, Bethesda, oh, their games are now being pushed back to next year too. So, I feel like I have been eternally vindicated at the pray and prayer to the gods type of stuff. I remember that when I said on my show that because of the BS that they did, forcing copyright claims and everything else on their Bethesda, I said I would never buy a Bethesda game. And you know what? I mean, hey, looks like Fallout 4 didn't look good, was a bit of a disappointment. Then you have Prey that didn't do well because it didn't even advertise the damn thing. Then, ladies and gentlemen, the piece of resistance, Fallout 76, how horrible that was. So there you go. There you go. It's just been this continuous ride of just terribleness for this for that Bethesda. And honestly, I know I had nothing to do with it, but dang it, it just seems so much fun to actually be like, yeah, I had something to, it's fun. It's like, yeah, I made sure that EA is, I'm at EA and and no, Bethesda is just like it's so bad that it's so terrible. I was like, yeah, Bethesda is so bad. And, oh, no one's watching and playing their games anymore, which is I like. I have so much fun with that. Just maybe until one day they'll like say, hey, maybe, don't, don't do some stupid copyright bullshit. Don't do that stuff. You know, that's just me. Anyway, that's it for the show. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks, Zareth and everyone else who staying with me with my little ranty rants. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks so much for listening to me, Dukect. Peace and love. Remember, like, subscribe, tell all your friends, and I'll see y'all when I see y'all later.